Hey everyone, welcome to another tutorial on this channel. I am Abhi from Hula Hula Games, and today we are going to take a look at how to integrate Codeless IAP in our Unity project. So Codeless in-app purchase is the easiest way to implement in-app purchases in your Unity app. You don't need to write any IAP related code. All you need to do is add IAP buttons to your game and define the products in IAP catalog. So we are going to take a look at what is an IAP button, how do you implement them, and how do you initiate the purchase flow using IAP buttons, and how do you define products in IAP catalog. So for the scope of this project, we won't be concentrating on how to set up the project and products on the Google Play Store or the iOS App Store. That is outside the scope of this project, of this tutorial I mean. So let's jump into the Unity editor. So here if you see, I have a simple setup. We have two weapons, a sword and a bomb, and we are going to add ability for the player to buy these using Codeless IAP. So I'm going to add a bunch of IAP buttons over here, and when the purchase is successful, the buttons will be replaced by this green check mark. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is go to the services window and turn on IAP purchasing. Enable it and import the packages. This will take a while. Okay, now you can see a plugins folder inside the assets folder, and inside plugins we have the Unity purchasing. And now we want to import the Codeless IAP. So let's go back to the Codeless IAP manual page and click on the Unity IAP SDK link. And let's open that in the Unity asset store inside Unity. And let's import Unity IAP. Make sure you go through all these steps. Not sure why it does that. The first time it always tells me the installer is disabled. Weird. Anyways, so let's go through each of these steps and just keep on importing everything. Import. Feel free to skip ahead in the video. This is taking longer than expected for some reason. Okay. So now let's go back to our scene. And if you go to the window, now you can see there is a Unity IAP menu, and now we can create an IAP button, and then we also have the IAP catalog over here. Alright, so in this panel we have a UI for the sword panel, and then we have a UI for the bomb panel. So let's go to window, Unity IAP, and let's create an IAP button, and let's pull that in the sword panel. Let's change the sprite for the button, and let's give this a width of 300 and a height of 150, and let's bring this at 0. Cool. And then let's increase the font size of the text And for now, let's set the text to 0.99. Also, if you see, the IAP button has an IAP button script, and it has a field for this price text. So you can pull in the text of the button in here, and Unity should automatically set the localized price of this text. So let's duplicate this button and put it in the BOM panel as well. Rename this to button and reposition it. So now if you see, the IAP button has two callbacks. It has a on purchase complete, and that returns a product. And then we have a on purchase failed, which is called with a product and a purchase failure reason. So we need to provide these two callbacks so that Codeless IAP can notify us about a purchase complete or a purchase failure. And if you see, the IAP button is also has a associated product ID, and we can set the product IDs in the IAP catalog. So let's go to Window, Unity IAP, and open the IAP catalog, and let's create our product. So we need to create one product for the sword. So the product ID will be com.hulahulgames.iap tutorial.sword, and then the type of product is non-consumable. The title is sword. Open up Google configuration and Apple configuration. For Google, the price is going to be 0.99, and for Apple, the tier will be tier 1. Let's add another product for the BOM, com.hulahulgames.ip tutorial.bom. Change this to non-consumable. Title will be BOM. Price 0.99, and for Apple it's tier 1. And there is another option over here which says automatically initialize Unity purchasing. So Unity will initialize the Unity purchasing module whenever there is a active IAP button in the scene, but sometimes you want the Unity purchasing to be initialized right at the launch of the game, and it might be that there is no active IAP button in the scene. So check this if you want Unity to initialize the purchasing module right at launch, and that's the recommended thing to do. So let's close this, and now we can select the product for each of these buttons. So here we will select the sword ID, and for this button we will select the BOM ID. And now we need to implement these two callbacks. So let's create a script and call it weapon purchase, and let's open that up in Visual Studio. Hope it doesn't take too long. Okay, so let's delete this. So the first thing we need to import is using Unity engine dot purchasing, and now let's create the two callbacks: public void on purchase complete product, and then the next will be public void on purchase failure, and this has a product and a purchase failure reason. And in this callback we are just going to log purchase of product. Let's log the product ID, failed due to, and then let's log the reason. And in on purchase complete, what we need to do is we need to hide the IAP button and we need to show the green check mark because the purchase was successful. So let's create two fields to hold those two parameters. So let's say public game object IAP button and another to reference the check mark. And here we'll say IAP button dot set active false and IAP button dot set active true. Oh, sorry, check mark. And just to be sure, in our awake function, let's just do the exact opposite. We will set the IAP button to be active and we'll set the check mark to be disabled. Also, in this callback, you would want to grant the user the product that they purchased. So if you have some kind of a inventory system, when the purchase is complete and successful, you want to grant the user the product or the item associated with this product into their inventory. So that code will go in here. So now let's save this, go back to the scene and select the SWORD panel. Let's add the weapon purchase as a component. Drag in the check mark and the IAP button. Do the same for bomb panel. Drag in the check mark, the button. Okay, now select the IAP button for the SWORD panel. Let's add these two callbacks, on purchase complete and on purchase failure. Drag the SWORD panel game object. Select the weapon purchase script and then select on purchase complete. And here select on purchase failure. And for the IAP button inside bomb panel, drag the bomb panel game object. Select the weapon purchase script, on purchase complete. And here select the on purchase failure. Let's save the scene and run it. So now if you click on the button, you get a fake store over here and it says, do you want to purchase the com.hulahoolgames.iap tutorial.sword product? If you say cancel, you see we have a log here saying purchase of product so and so failed due to purchasing unavailable. And if we now select buy, we get an error. And I know exactly why this is happening. So this error that you encounter will only happen in the Unity editor and this won't happen on a device. So what's happening here is, as Unity, as we have a successful purchase, Unity goes through all the active IAP buttons in the scene and then it tries to call back into the IAP buttons on purchase complete. And then in the on purchase complete itself, we are setting the IAP button to be inactive. And this causes an issue in the editor because the button has not probably finished all the processing and we are still deactivating it right in the callback. So the way to fix this is we deactivate this after a certain delay or in the next frame. So the easiest way to fix this is, let's say if Unity editor else and if, so if it's Unity edit, so if it's not the editor, we are just going to disable the button. But if it's the editor, let's create a coroutine. Disable IAP button, and in here we will wait for the end of frame. I spelled yield wrong. And then we will disable the button. So if it's the Unity editor, we say start coroutine, disable IAP button. So if it's the Unity editor, we start a coroutine that waits for the end of frame and then deactivates the IAP button. But if it's a device, we can directly just disable it in the callback itself. So now let's stop and play again. And now if you click on this and say bye, it works. It disables the IAP button and it enables the check mark, and it's the same happens for the bomb as well. So there you go. Codeless IAP is working in our project, and hope you guys find this tutorial helpful. And if you have any suggestions or feedback, do leave it in the comments below. And if you have any other topic that I should cover in the upcoming tutorials, do let me know. And if you like the video, make sure you leave a like. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. As always, have a wonderful day, and thank you for watching.